On day 33, we will drive out to the Exit Glacier, walk around there some on the trails, then drive over to Nash Road, look at it, and then drive back into the city, see the Alaskan Sea Life Center, and do some shopping. We head out early in the morning so that we can have a good cool time for walking on the trails. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful day.
Continue for 9 miles.
As we come around the corner, there's the Exit Glacier for all to see. We're in a part of Kenai Fjords National Park like we were a couple of days ago. And soon we're pulling into the Visitor Center. We'll be back in Kenai Fjords National Park. We were at the northwestern fjord a few days ago by boat, and now we'll be at the Exit Glacier, where we'll be leaving from the Nature Center and heading out on its hiking trails. It has 2 trails that we will be on. The first one will be the easy one, number 1, that makes a big loop. We'll be on it. It's about a mile long. And then there's a half a mile trail off of it that goes to the edge of the glacier that I will be taking. It's a beautiful day to be out in the woods. Soon we're walking along the Resurrection River and its water flowing from the glacier. In 1951, the year I was born, the glacier was where I am standing now, and you can see how far it has receded back from that place. As we move on a little bit further, this is where it was in 2004, and this is what it looks like now. It has again receded several miles back in just about 10 years. And now it's time for Deborah and I to go our separate ways. She'll head back along the loop to the Visitor Center, and I'm heading to Glacier View. There are many different trails going off in different directions from here. I will be taking the one on the right and heading up to Glacier View, almost straight up. As I climb up on the rocks, there comes into view the Harding Glacier Field. You can see the rock striations where the glaciers has ground through this area. It's even left behind a few little pools that fill with water and some wildlife in them, some copepods. And up there's the glacier. In 2005, It was located right here where I'm standing. And in just 11 years, you can see how far back it has moved. It's melting fairly rapidly. The swirling ice as it moves down the valley creates beautiful patterns of dark and blue and white. And there's water pouring out of its base from underneath it as it melts. You used to be able to walk up and touch the glacier, but now it's become so unstable the red warning signs say, "Keep away, ice, falling." And soon we come as close as we can to the glacier. We can look over and see its ice, but as the warning signs say, this is the end of the trail and danger lies ahead from falling ice. We're standing on the moraine. That lets us see the dirt and small gravel that has been ground up by this glacier passing this way. And then it's time to head back down to join Deborah. On the way down, there are some interpretive signs to show you where the glacier was at various times down through this valley. Also note at one time the ice was much higher than these mountains and it has now shrunk down, but you would have not been able to see these mountains for the ice. And up there's where I was, the glacier overlook on those open areas. And now I'm back down along the Resurrection River. As we head out of the park, we get a good view across the Resurrection River, and it's broken up into many channels, like most glacier streams. We now head over to the east side of the Resurrection Bay on the Nash Road, and we'll follow it a while to see the views across Resurrection Bay towards Seward. The main shipyard is on this side, and so we see some of the old ships that they have worked on in the past but are now kind of getting old. And we pull into a parking lot so we can look across the bay better. It's now time to head back to Seward, and soon we're entering the city. We'll be parking our car at our hotel and walking the rest of the day. Our first stop will be the Alaska Sea Life Center. That consists of 2 floors. We'll start on the 2nd floor, and then we'll move down to the 1st floor to see the underwater viewing areas. In the lobby is a pod of doll porpoise chasing salmon squid. This is the only aquarium in Alaska, and unfortunately it has a problem. They don't label their fish very well. Maybe it's because they change them out so often in the tanks, but most of the tanks aren't labeled as to what's inside them. I really like their seabird outdoor exhibit. You're actually in the habitat with them, with nothing between you and them. First we see some kittiwakes. And then there's some horned puffins. We saw some of those yesterday, but this is a much better view. Next, there's some tufted puffins. We saw them again yesterday, but again, a much better view here. And then some eider ducks are out swimming. They're breeding them here. Common murres have a baby. It's pretty well full grown now, but it's still in its fledgling colors. And the pigeon guillemots are so small that it's hard to see them sometimes, like small pigeons. Over there is their harbor seal tank, where they have them, where you can see them both above and below the water. They also rescue sick and injured wildlife, like this California sea lion in one of the rehab tanks. And also like Bishop, the sea otter. They breed endangered stellar eiders here also and release them into the wild. And now it's time to do what Deborah does best, touch in the touch tank. One of the main exhibits here is salmon because they're so important to the local economy. There are 5 different types of salmon here: Chinook, chum, coho, sockeye, and humpies. And how good the salmon run determines how good the economy does. And these are salmon eggs, or roe, that have been laid in gravel nest. In the Arctic grayling tank, there are smokes like these fingerlings that we see here. They have stripes, and then later they get their distinctive big fin on the back. There's also a tank of Dolly Varden. Out in Resurrection Bay, you can see from the overlook there's another sea otter out there playing amongst the boats. This is what cod looks like. And here's one of the flatfish from this area, the Dover sole. These are saffron cod. And here's a red king crab, a real small one, but still one where you can see what it looks like. California sea lions are swimming around in their tank, and here is a large male. They also have a giant Pacific octopus. As we leave the Alaska Sea Life Center, we head across the street to downtown and do some shopping to buy the things we need. And this pretty well sums up the condition of the roads here.
Well, one more day and you start heading home. Today you got up close with the Exit Glacier. You were much closer than the 1 mile distance the boats keep. And although you did not see any bears, Deborah is probably pretty happy about that in reality. The Alaska Sea Life Center had some interesting exhibits. I know Alan really enjoyed seeing the puffins and other seabirds up closer. Well, I hope that your shopping went well and get a good night's sleep. You have a long journey back to Anchorage tomorrow.
And this brings us to the end of day 33.